And as you can see, this is a real efficient way of aerating lawns, right? I know all of you guys are out there with your pink and yellow polka dot rain boots aerating that way. Sometimes I think marketing feels that way in our businesses as we're so engrossed in getting the work done and doing the business. The marketing feels inefficient and clumsy at times, probably like these shoes. So I thought it was a very appropriate picture as we launch into growing your business through aeration programs. So as we get started today, just a few webinar semantics. You should have a screen or a pop-out window that helps you navigate this webinar. If you follow along on this left-hand side, this little arrow will allow you to move that screen so that you can see the whole screen if you're having problems. And everybody's on mute at the moment, but if we start talking and open that up, then you can use this button to mute yourself, this green microphone button. And then the most important part is down here. I love to have questions. I want to be interactive today. So please feel free to type any questions in the box at the bottom. You'll have to probably click on this little sign. It'll probably be a plus sign. If you open that up, you'll be able to put any questions in there, and we'll be able to see them and answer them. So please, as we go along today, feel free to ask questions, and at the end we'll have a question and answer time as well. So just a few logistics here on how to keep things moving semantically for the webinar today. My name is Nicole Wise. I am the head of marketing here at Holganix. I love my job in that I love really being part of the brand of Holganix and really looking at our company's marketing. But what I love even more than that is working on webinars like this and working with different companies to help them market their business in a way that is efficient and hopefully helps them grow when they're not necessarily focusing on the marketing. My contact information there, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. I'm happy to help and answer questions, so feel free to reach out. So our agenda today, it looks really long here as you look at this list, but we're going to it'll move along fairly quickly here. But why should you cut your customers aerate? Who's your audience? Why should your customers choose you? Why are you special? Why are you standing out? Why use Holganix? Building your marketing campaign. So what's this campaign going to look like? What are you going to use? Let's look at a timeline and then some tools that we already have created for you that you're welcome to use as well. We'll do some Q&A and we're going to do some audience polls as we go along. So let's start with the first one. There's not a whole lot of you on. I might unmute everybody and we can just talk for a second here. But the first question is how many of you have attended a marketing webinar? So let's unmute everybody rather than doing a poll question. I think we've got Josh and Mark. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Great. So, Mark, have you joined a marketing webinar before?
Yes.
And have you found them helpful?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. Glad you're back. Thanks for taking the time. And Josh, how about you? Have you joined a webinar before?
Yes, I have.
Yes. And Josh, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit or tell us where you come from, and then we'll ask Mark the same thing.
Okay. I am the general manager of a lawn care and landscaping company in suburban Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay. Great. And do you use Holganix currently?
No, we do not.
Okay. Well, thanks for taking the time and joining us. Mark, tell us where you're from.
I am from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, Charlotte, we can hear that southern accent coming out a little bit.
Absolutely.
And do you use Holganix?
I do. I'm the owner of Flatwoods Organics.
Ah, oh, very nice. I'm sorry I didn't recognize your name right off the bat. And you're using Holganix and things are going well?
Things are going great.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. All right. Well, Josh, since you don't use Holganix, as we go through, feel free to ask questions that we can ask Mark as well. So if you want to ask questions about Holganix outside of the marketing, feel free to type those questions in and we can get a conversation started as well.
Okay, absolutely.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to mute everybody again, just helps with the background noise and stuff, but feel free to type a question in and I'll unmute everybody. Oh, you know what? Actually, let me see. I think we have another webinar question next. Yep. So both Mark and Josh, do you guys offer aeration programs currently? So Mark, let's start with you.
Yes, I do.
Okay. And about how many of your clients do they get it every year? How many of your clients get it every year?
Everybody does it once a year, and about half we do it twice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We do a spring.
You do a spring one as well.
Yes.
Great. And Josh, how about you?
Most of our customers, it's, I don't know, as sort of on as needed basis on their part. Tell me 10% they have it done every year. So
Okay.
it's people don't. It's sort of a hard sell around here, but that's why I'm doing this, to try to figure out how to advertise more for it.
Okay, great. Well, it is one of the single most important things they could do, and so you really want to get that message out there. So let's keep moving and see how we can help you with that. So I'm just going to mute everybody here. There we go. Okay, so why aerate? We've really been working on having a lot of video, and it's one of our initiatives in this year for marketing is to really incorporate more video in everything we do. So as we do that, of course, we want to pass that along for you guys. So we've created an aeration video. I'm going to let it play here for a second, and you guys can take a look. If you go on our website and download the Aeration in a Box icon, click on it, and then you download it. This video is in there, and you will be able to download it yourselves, and you can put it on any of your marketing, any of your videos, any of your Facebook, social media, any of that. So as we incorporate it into our business, we're putting it out there for you guys as well. So I'm just going to take a second. This is doesn't have any sound to it, so at the moment the one you download should have some sound to it. So we've updated it since we put it in here. But it's really just showing before aeration, you've got that thatch layer, you've got hard soils, and the nutrients just aren't getting past that. As you aerate and pull those plugs, then those nutrients can then start getting down into the soil, down to the roots, and help that grass. When you add Holganix in as well, there's the microizae that really help those root extensions thrive. You've got some lignin polymers, again, that drive kind of holes through the soil for those roots. You're softening the seed. You're giving the seed a much better opportunity for success. So the Holganix is really, really a great piece to use as a starter fertilizer along with your aeration and seed, and it's also a great piece to add in your last 2 apps of the year. So just a way to show customers, look what's happening, here's the change, here's what we're doing and why aeration is important. Okay, so again, you can download that on our website and use it in any of your social media or anything like that. I think we've got Josh and Mark. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Great. So, Mark, have you joined a marketing webinar before?
Yes.
And have you found them helpful?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. Glad you're back. Thanks for taking the time. And Josh, how about you? Have you joined a webinar before?
Yes, I have.
Yes. And Josh, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit or tell us where you come from, and then we'll ask Mark the same thing.
Okay. I am the general manager of a lawn care and landscaping company in suburban Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay. Great. And do you use Holganix currently?
No, we do not.
Okay. Well, thanks for taking the time and joining us. Mark, tell us where you're from.
I am from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, Charlotte, we can hear that southern accent coming out a little bit.
Absolutely.
And do you use Holganix?
I do. I'm the owner of Flatwoods Organics.
Oh, very nice. I'm sorry I didn't recognize your name right off the bat. And you're using Holganix and things are going well?
Things are going great.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. All right. Well, Josh, since you don't use Holganix, as we go through, feel free to ask questions that we can ask Mark as well. So if you want to ask questions about Holganix outside of the marketing, feel free to type those questions in and we can get a conversation started as well.
Okay, absolutely.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to mute everybody again, just helps with the background noise and stuff, but feel free to type a question in and I'll unmute everybody. Oh, you know what? Actually, let me see. I think we have another webinar question next. Yep. So both Mark and Josh, do you guys offer aeration programs currently? So Mark, let's start with you.
Yes, I do.
Okay, and about how many of your clients do they get it every year? How many of your clients get it every year?
Everybody does it once a year, and about half we do it twice.
Oh wow. Okay.
We do a spring.
You do a spring one as well.
Yes.
Great. And Josh, how about you?
Most of our customers, it's, I don't know, as sort of on as needed basis on their part. Maybe 10% they have it done every year. So
okay.
It's people don't. It's sort of a hard sell around here, but that's why I'm doing this, to try to figure out how to advertise more for it.
Okay, great. Well, it is one of the single most important things they could do, and so you really want to get that message out there. So let's keep moving and see how we can help you with that. So I'm just going to mute everybody here. There we go. Okay, so why aerate? We've really been working on having a lot of video, and it's one of our initiatives in this year for marketing is to really incorporate more video in everything we do. So as we do that, of course, we want to pass that along for you guys. So we've created an aeration video. I'm going to let it play here for a second, and you guys can take a look. If you go on our website and download the Aeration in a Box icon, click on it, and then you download it. This video is in there, and you will be able to download it yourselves, and you can put it on any of your marketing, any of your videos, any of your Facebook, social media, any of that. So as we incorporate it into our business, we're putting it out there for you guys as well. So I'm just going to take a second. This is doesn't have any sound to it, so at the moment the one you download should have some sound to it. So we've updated it since we put it in here. But it's really just showing before aeration, you've got that thatch layer, you've got hard soils, and the nutrients just aren't getting past that. As you aerate and pull those plugs, then those nutrients can then start getting down into the soil, down to the roots, and help that grass. When you add Holganix in as well, there's the microizae that really help those root extensions thrive. You've got some lignin polymers, again, that drive kind of holes through the soil for those roots. You're softening the seed. You're giving the seed a much better opportunity for success. So the Holganix is really, really a great piece to use as a starter fertilizer along with your aeration and seed, and it's also a great piece to add in your last 2 apps of the year. So just a way to show customers, look what's happening, here's the change, here's what we're doing and why aeration is important. Okay, so again, you can download that on our website and use it in any of your social media or anything like that. So as Josh mentioned, aeration is a bit of a harder sell. It's a bigger ticket. On average, you should be looking for somewhere between 10 to 30% of your customers to be asking for aeration this year and including that in their program. Back when we had a larger lawn care company, we used to say, you didn't have to get it every year, but every other year was really, really beneficial. And golf courses, you always point to the golf courses, they do it several times a year. So, it's really an important piece that you really have to get that message across. But again, 10 on your lower side, you're looking to get upwards closer to 30% of your current base taking aeration applications in any given season. That should be your goal. So who is your audience? So oftentimes, as I do these marketing webinars, as you flip back and forth between different things that you're selling, I believe that your audience changes. So if you had joined our tree and shrub webinar in the back a month, 6 weeks ago, we talked a lot about in tree and shrub, you're really selling to your current customers. They really understand what you do. They've built a relationship with you. They trust you. And when you come out and say, hey, let me help your trees and shrubs, they're a good client. They're somebody you want to go after for tree and shrub. Same thing applies here for aeration and seeding. Your current customers should be your lowest hanging fruit. You should be talking to them in many different ways, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but your current customers you really want to go after, and your likelihood they're your easiest aeration target. So definitely be marketing to your current customers, and we'll talk about how in a minute. But secondly, you really want to be looking in the fall. This time of year now is a great time to be selling to new clients as well. Oftentimes going through summer, there's lots of disease, there's drought issues, and the more issues they have on their lawn, the more likely they are to be looking for services in the fall. So, I've heard people say, oh, look at these lawns. It's a great aeration year. So the tougher the year is, the more people will want aeration and seed. So you also have a lot of clients who may not be happy with their current company, and so come fall, they're looking to switch. A lot of installations, a lot of things happening in the fall where you still can be getting a lot of new clients. My biggest piece, if you take anything home today, if you're selling to new customers right now in through September and October, you want to make sure you're selling them a fall program. You want to include an aeration and at least 2 fall applications, depending on how your program is set up. Get them doing the aeration and seeding plus the remaining applications for this year, which then roll right into the next year. So you've got that renewal of your programs, and let them become your recurring revenue client. You don't want them to just come on for one aeration and be done. We're really looking for that automatic customer that continues to do those applications. So absolutely be looking for new customers this fall. And when you sell new customers the fall program, don't just sell them aeration, sell them the remainder of your applications as well. So why choose you? What makes you a purple cow? What makes you stand out? I'm sure there are things that everybody has their different piece, but of course I'm going to tell you that you're using Holganix, and Holganix will make you a purple cow in and of itself, so you can tack that on to whatever else makes you special. Holganix, we're really have been talking about Holganix a lot lately, and it's really a plant probiotic, and it's providing that necessary living biology to the soil. It's balancing that ecosystem, just like we talk about yogurts and this Activia and things like that as a probiotic, and it's really helping our digestive system. It's adding that biology to our digestive system to help it work more effectively. Same thing is happening with Holganix. You're putting it into the soil with the biology and the other ingredients. It's really balancing that ecosystem and allowing it to work more effectively. So that in and of itself will help your aeration and seeding, help your lawns, help build density. But on top of that, during aeration, when those plugs are removed and you're putting the Holganix down in there, it's some things that you are providing. The mycorrhizae is huge, as I mentioned earlier. That's really going to help that root development. And there's both endo and ecto mycorrhizae in there, and that is the #1 thing we hear over and over and over again, whether it's seeding or sodding. The mycorrhizae and the root development and how fast it really takes off is really an awesome thing that you get with Holganix. It's a great symbiotic relationship. The auxins will actually help soften the seed, and so you get better germination, quicker germination. The trichoderma protects the seedling as it's out there and has to survive a little bit till it can really start that germination process and take effect. And then yucca really allows it to help make better use of water. The yucca acts as almost like a spreader sticker and allows that water and nutrients that you're putting down with it to adhere and be used more effectively. So while there's a lot of things in Holganix, when you're aerating and seeding, these 4 things are really your top pieces that are really going to make Holganix a great partner with your aeration and seeding. Whether you do that right at the same time as seeding, and aerating and use it more as like a starter fertilizer right with it, or whether it's their next app. Either way, it's going to help them. Obviously, if you put it down with it, you're speeding that germination, you're speeding that root development, but even if it's their next app is really going to help as well. So highly recommend Holganix with your aeration and seeding. And so now what does our campaigns look like? What are we going to do? So every good marketing plan talks about inbound and outbound marketing. If I am talking about getting new clients, a lot of times you'll hear me do much more about outbound marketing. I'll talk a lot about outbound, things that you're putting out there and asking people to buy your services. However, when I talk about doing selling, upselling, any kind of program that is in addition to their regular recurring revenue programs, so anything above their fertilizer, anything above their mowing that happens kind of over time, several applications. If you're talking to your current clients, you want to really think about some inbound marketing. The inbound marketing allows you to create community. It allows you to really connect with people. And so as you build your customer base and you use inbound marketing with your current customers, it's a great way to upsell your services, but it's also a great way to connect with them and show your business personality in inbound marketing. And the more they connect with you, the more they're going to buy from you. So I highly suggest both inbound and outbound in aeration marketing. So if we start with outbound marketing, even to current customers, I would send a prepaid to all of your customers, ask them for the remaining balance at a prepaid rate plus aeration and seed. Or you could do just a prepay with just aeration and seeding application only. But put something out there in that prepay. Put a little informational piece. I believe we have an informational piece already written up for you. And again, it's in the aeration in a box. So just put a piece in there that's informational about why they should use Holganix, why you're special, why they should purchase aeration and seed. Postcards. Again, this is another thing in our aeration in a box. We want to make it really simple for you so that it's, plug and play, keep getting work done, and still be marketing. Make it efficient as possible. So we've got some postcards already created for you. I'd send some postcards out. You could use some every door direct mail, or you could send through first class, either way. But postcards are a great piece that adds to this program. And then personal notes on invoices. Your technicians are there. They're seeing the property. Have them write a quick note that connects with the customer. Don't just say, hey, buy aeration and seeding. Hey, I noticed you have some patches. It's been a really rough summer, or whatever conditions you're facing at the moment on your properties. Here's what I see is happening. Here's what I recommend. Aeration and seeding is your number one most important thing you can do on your property, so I highly recommend you adding this service, and put a personal note on that invoice and let them know what you recommend. When you do that, you want to make sure your piece is remarkable, like you, so stand out from the crowd. You don't want it to be like everybody else's, so put something out there that's going to make you special. Keep it simple, stupid. So often people want to put a lot of messages all on their postcards. Hey, I do all of these things. I want to tell you about all of them because I'm spending the money. But then what happens is you lose all of those messages. So keep one message, one service that you're selling, and keep it simple. Make sure your offer is strong enough as well. I know we all hate to give something away. We hate to discount, and then people feel like they want discount over and over. But if you make a really strong offer, you get people to pick up the phone and you get that relationship started. And really in our business, it's all about the lifetime value of your customer. You've got to sell them at the beginning and get them on board, but then look at the value over their lifetime. So you really want to look long-term on that and make a strong offer to get them to pick up the phone and call you, look at your website, check you out, and research you and purchase from you. If on any of those campaigns we just talked about, both inbound and outbound, any of these things that you can telemarket, which I know people cringe. I don't want to call my customers, but if you just follow up with them, hey, I'm just checking in. We're going into fall. This summer, this is what we saw. This is what's going on. This is might be. Don't be afraid. People might complain, but that's okay if they complain, because at least they're complaining to you and you can solve the problem. Whereas if they just called and canceled and, it looked awful this summer and they cancel at the end of the year, well, you can't change anything at that point. So you'd rather talk to them. If they have problems, no problem, fix those problems. And when you add this telemarketing, you will double your close rate. So if you have 100 customers and you're looking, say 10% are gonna sign up without anything else. If you call behind them, you will get 20%. So you would get 20 customers instead of 10 customers if you follow up with a telemarketing phone call, just having a conversation with them. You don't have to be pushy. You don't have to be mean. If people hang up on you, it's okay. Just keep plowing through the list. Again, you've got 100 customers and you're trying to get 20% close rate, you're going to hear 80 no's. And some of those will be hang-ups and they won't be great, but keep plowing through because at the end of the day, you're going to double your response. So I highly recommend taking the time out, get your team together, make it fun. One night, buy some pizza, everybody from 4 to 8 at night. We're calling all the clients tonight. $20 on the board for the first person to close in aeration and seating. Make it exciting and plow through those calls. Inbound marketing. So there's email newsletters, blogging it, and social media. So pick any one of these. If you're not doing any of them, just start. I can't tell you, it's scary. They're kind of out there. You think about an email, I have to write all those words. Blog it. How am I going to keep up on that? Social media, I don't know, all those things. If you just start picking these apart and doing one at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time, these campaigns will really help build you as an expert and will allow you to connect and with your community and even people who are prospects. They want to see you, see what you're talking about, and really connect with you. So these are ways to do that. So if you haven't done an email newsletter, check out Emma, myemma.com. I highly recommend their services. Social media, there's Razor Social. You can set up some automation, so that makes it easier. And so there's definitely things out there to help you make this inbound marketing easier. So pick one piece of this. It can be overwhelming, but pick one piece of inbound marketing and start moving it forward. Eventually, you'll get there with all of it. So just real quick, another poll question, but I'm going to unmute everybody. Do you blog or social media? So how about you, Josh? Do you use blogs or social media?
Social media more than our blog.
Okay.
And how? Having to write, it's a lot of, it's more something we try to get done in the winter. Which we try to write things in advance and then schedule them.
Yeah.
But that's probably our biggest shortcoming there. But we try to keep up on social media and let people know when the right time to get things done. And it does help. We do see spikes in calls.
Oh, good.
And, when we let people know, this is the time we want to start scheduling aeration, Yep. It does help and things like that.
And how about you, Mark?
Yes, we have a Facebook page. I do a monthly newsletter.
Good.
Yeah, of course you've seen the website, so
yeah,
use it and it works great.
Good. And I've seen your posts. So and you just had one. So that's good that you're keeping up on it. It is definitely hard to keep up on, but at the end of the day, I think my next slide, one of my favorite slides, is in the social media, in the blogging, and in the emails. Make sure you educate. don't sell. You don't want to put your services and your company ahead of all of them. We've just been working on something. We've all been talking about a trust formula, and you want to be credible, you want to be reliable, you want to create a relationship, intimacy with people, and really connect with them. And all those things will really get you far ahead. But if you are more client-oriented as opposed to self-oriented on top of those, you will really dramatically go far. So put yourself in their shoes. What would you want to hear? What would you want to talk about? Act like you're at a cocktail party, sipping on a drink, a glass of wine, a beer. What are you talking about? What are things that you can connect with people and really be client-oriented and helpful to them? And that will take you a long way. So I highly recommend thinking about what you're putting out there, in not just about your business, about what you're selling, what you're doing, but really helpful information that sometimes doesn't even have anything to do with your business. It just allows them to connect. By the way, babies and animals always go a really long way, so always add those in as well. So what's the timeline look like? I just gave you lots of different options, but if you lay it out in a timeline, it really allows you to pick and choose and pull things apart so that, again, it's not so overwhelming. So if we look, at the top, it's all those things we talked about: direct mail piece, telemarketing, email newsletter, blog, social media. So let's lay this out over the next 7 weeks. That brings us about the end of September, beginning of October. So in week 1, get a direct mail piece out there. Get your brand in front of them. Talk about aeration and seeding, why it's important. And then, of course, start your social media posts. In week 2, follow up with that direct mail piece. Follow up with those prepays that you sent out, and call your customers, check in with them, and increase your return on that. You're going to send out a blog that talks about aeration and seeding and why it's important and what Holganix does with it. So in week 2, follow up that week 1 with your direct, in week 1 you sent your direct mail piece out. Say it's prepays to all your customers. So in week 2, follow that up with a phone call, check in with them, make sure they got the quote, and ask them if they're interested. Do a blog with information about aeration and seeding, why it's important. And then look at your social media and just continue. The social media, you just pound every single week all the way through. This is the time when you're really specific about what you're doing on social media, as opposed to maybe just putting some friendly things on. Now you'll do a little bit more selling in your social media. In week 3, send out an email newsletter to everybody. Again, they've now seen a prepay in the mail. You've called them. Now they're going to see it in their email newsletters. It's so much about repetition. The more they see, the more they hear, the more sales you'll get. Keeping your social media posts going. We move into week 4. We're going to send another direct mail piece out. It might be to still your same clients. It might be postcards this time. Do another blog, and again, continue your social media. In week 5, we're going to follow up that direct mail piece from last week with a telemarket call, and then your social media. In week 6, you're winding down with a blog and a social media, and then week 7, you just finish out with social media. So it's really a 7-week push that none of that is so overwhelming when you take it 1 week at a time. If you look at all those things I said you could do, direct mail and telemarketing and emailing and blogging, it's, wow, where do I begin? What do I do? But if you take it week by week, day by day, you can really pick and pull through this and really affect your sales. So some marketing tools. I've been talking about how we want to make it easy for you guys, and so we've created Aeration in a Box, and all this, a lot of the things I'm going to show you are in that Aeration in a Box link. So there's the Holganix postcards, there's the video I showed you, some informational pieces as well. I talked about MyEmma for your email if you don't do email blasts yet. And then automate your social media and look for aeration facts. Go online and look for facts that you can talk to your customers about why aeration and seeding is so important. So look for some facts online as well. That'll help you with your social media as well. Here's one of the postcards we've created, an essential piece of the puzzle. You know, Holganix is part of your puzzle, but then what's this other piece of the puzzle and how important is it with the aeration and seeding? The back, you know, really goes in, talks about that missing puzzle piece and why it's so important. Sorry, I thought there was another link. You saw the video already, and there's also some a prepay insert as well in the aeration in a box. So that concludes my presentation for today. Since we don't have too many of you guys on there, I just have you unmuted. Can I answer some questions? Anything that's helpful, not helpful? What direction can I help you with?
I think you did great.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it.
I've been on one of these all by myself, just me and you. Remember that?
I do. We've come a long way. We had some webinars with some golf superintendents this year that had upwards of 50 and 60 people on them. So they've come a long way. The lawn care ones are a little less than the golf, but we do get more people on them now.
Good.
Yeah. Josh, any questions we can answer for you?
Do you have any tools for pricing aeration? I know when I have, you know, we're promoting aeration. There's some properties where, you know, my guys don't exactly know where to start. You know, they know how to price out a fertilization program.
Yep.
But you know, when it comes to aeration, it just gets, you know.
So our rule of thumb used to be 3 times their app price for aeration, 3 times their app price for seeding, and 1 time their app price for starter fert. So depending how they were going to sell that, you know, if they just had a lot of compaction and wanted to break it up, they could do 3 times their app price. If they had a lot of bare spots, you know, bigger than I think we say baseball, basketball, then you should have some seeding. So you do 6 times their app price, and then, you know, depending on the year, depending how much fertilizer had been down, depending how much rain, some years we included, you know, the starter fert, and it was just, look, aeration, seeding, and fertilizer 7 times an app. That's what's needed this year, and that's what we were selling. So it made it easier, much easier to price it that way.
All right, I like that. Yeah, anyone, no matter who picks up the phone, could give someone a price as soon as possible, which really helps the process.
Absolutely. Yep. If they're ready to buy, they're calling you with questions, then you want to be able to sell them right then and there. Good point. Josh, since you're not using Holganix, are there any questions regarding Holganix in and of itself that we could help you with?
I'm actually, we are interested.
Okay.
I manage all the operations here in general. I think my fertilization manager would probably have a whole bunch of questions for you.
Okay.
It's something we have discussed, and I currently have less than half a dozen customers out of everyone we have that goes with an organic program. And I know we're not happy with what we're seeing. They're not happy. And I am impressed with the results that I see with people who use Holganix. So that's where I'm coming from. I see the results, and I would like to try to promote that a little better, because it seems like I have someone with conventional fertilizer, some that we're just doing, you know, like a granular organic type thing, and yeah, we struggle side by side. But from what I see from some of the material you guys put out, that I could actually make the Holganix lawn look, or the organic lawn, you know, using Holganix, I can make it look better than the person next door with the conventional fertilizer. So, yeah, that's basically why I'm interested, because I think it's a market. People are very interested. Yeah. But you know, they like seeing faster results, and you know.
So one of the tricks with Holganix, or any organic, which Mark can talk to as well, is it takes some time to build that up. And so with Holganix, you can really start your program, you can start introducing those organics and still keep a little more of those herbicides and pesticides in there in the beginning as you build it up. And so in the beginning, you might say, well, you know, Mother Nature always throws us a curveball that we're not expecting. But, oh, look, you know, this year we've gotten a lot of rain. It's washed the nitrogen through. Okay, let's boost our nitrogen a little bit. But customers who have gotten through that first year and a half, and really plowed through, tweaked their program, got their program the way they wanted it, in the end, they just have a phenomenal program and just rave about their lawns and how much better they look. So sometimes it's that beginning part where you're tweaking the program and really dialing it in with the products you're using and how to really make it most effective right there in the beginning as you start to launch into this.
Okay. Yeah, I think some of the things that I've seen where I found a couple customers have been very excited about it, especially even after going to there's a all organic company here in the area that that does some seminars and things like, or we'll go to garden club meetings and things like that.
Yeah.
And good to get the interest up, and they've actually helped us, even though they're the competition. But they sort of tweak. They tweak the numbers a little bit. You know, this is somebody that, you know, better than, you know, like that you start to see results after several years.
Yeah.
And we can't just go cold turkey.
No.
You know, never touch. You know, I can't ever. You know, oh, we won't need Trimec ever again. Well,
no.
No.
You have to be realistic about it, and you can absolutely get there.
There are people out. Yeah, I use. There's someone actually. He's just several doors down from my house, and we used a strictly organic program because he was concerned about his dogs, and we applied things. You know, we applied it at a pretty good rate, and the applications were much closer together. He was probably paying 3 to 4 times as much as his neighbors.
Wow.
But within 3 to 4 years, we never touched pesticides again. I mean,
yep.
his yard choked out the weeds.
Yeah.
But people don't realize what it takes to get there. So.
Yeah. With the Holganix, though, you know, you should be, if you were to go straight Holganix on a terrible lawn, it would probably take that long. But as long as you're starting out and bridging that gap and starting out, you know, really cutting that stuff back, you know, half, depending on the year, depending on what you're working on, half's a general number I use, not an exact science, but, you know, cutting back about half and then moving from there, you'll really see within a year and a half you've built up that organic matter and can really, really cut back to next to nothing if you wanted to.
Okay. Yeah, I have one lady. It's new construction, almost about 2 years. And
I may have lost you, Josh. I'm having more technical difficulties. I'm sorry.
Some sort of hybrid 50-50 type thing. Because I don't think she'll, you know, keep on paying for it for 5 years until she sees results. At the same time, you know, she's going to complain to her neighbors and things like that we're not delivering. And I just don't think we could, you know, pull it off any time before then.
Yeah.
So that's probably my biggest using organic, any kind of organic fertilizer is, you know.
So we've had most people.
Integration.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of people, we can bring your program pretty close to cost neutral in comparison. You know, if we take your current program, tweak it in with some Holganix, we can usually come fairly close to cost neutral. So you're really not, you don't have to really tweak that up. And we've had a lot of customers that won't even tell their clients. They just start doing it and wait and see, and are blown away that nobody even notices a difference. It's really just they're completely similar, and nobody knows the difference. And then they start talking about it. You know, they don't want to bring everybody's attention to it and then get all the chatter back and forth. But if they just go out and they start doing it, and get nothing, then they go back and tell people, oh, this is what we did, and by the way, we're 50% less chemicals, it's safer for your family, your pets, and it's really a great way to start introducing it and seeing, you know, what tweaks you want to make, how you want to tweak it, because then you know you're getting honest feedback, not people saying, oh, you're using that new thing and it doesn't work. And so that's a great way to, you know, start introducing it in, take a truck or a route, and really look at the whole big picture, because at the end of the day, then you can differentiate your company, and really use it in a really effective way. Well, I'm going to thank you guys for your time. Seems like the technical difficulties aren't getting much better. So I can hear you. Can you hear me?
It sounds like your head is in a bucket.
Nothing came through clear until that. Well, since the technical difficulties seem to not be getting any better, I'm going to end things. I thank you guys so much for your time today. If you have any questions, feel free, again, like I said, to reach out. And Suzanne is also with me here today, and she's very helpful, works with a lot of the customers as well. So reach out to one of us, and we're happy to help. You will be getting a survey. Please take the survey. Let us know how to make it better. You'll also get a recorded version of this webinar, so you'll get the information that we've gone over today, and all the resources are at the Aeration in a Box. Thank you so much for your time today. Have a great week.
All right. Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you.